This is the only tier list that matters. Why? Why would you do that? Don't. Look, if you're gonna want to jump the shark and get to level 1 first aid quickly, take this. I would like to posit that avoiding injury in a game meant to hurt you is stupid. I'm gonna want to punch you. I'm gonna hope you have thick-skinned because I'm gonna hit you. I cannot wait to get flamed for that take, because I don't care. I'm right. I'm sick of answering this question. What trait should I take? What do I do? How do I build my character? Why am I supposed to answer that? Okay, anyway, we have S. S is for always take, okay? That's what S stands for. I don't know how you learned your alphabet, but that's what it stands for. A stands for all right. B is for situational. C is for filler. D is for doo-doo. And F is for you are foolish if you take this, okay? So, to help me, I've got this. Okay, so the first one's Adrenaline Junkie. You move faster when highly panicked. What does that mean? Why is that important? What that means is you get a 0.2 or 0.25 base speed at strong or extreme panic. According to this mod that just tells you more things about the traits. It's reliable, okay? Trust me. That being said, I would put Adrenaline Junkie at situational. If you think you're gonna be going fast, that's where you want to have Adrenaline Junkie. I would not call it filler, and I wouldn't call it filler, and I wouldn't call it all right either. I would call it definitively situational, B tier. Moving on to Angler, always take it. I'm not wrong. Look at this. You get a +1 to fishing, and you know how to craft and fix a fishing rod. You don't have to go search out the magazine. Okay, you get a +5% insects and fish bait in your foraging as well, which is phenomenal. You always take Angler. There is never a situation where you do not need fishing. I'm just saying. Look, I play PokeMMO on my off time, all right? And on the job. Right now, well, okay, not right now. Right now I'm shiny hunting a Meowth. Don't talk to me. When I was shiny hunting Dratini, which I gave up on, I would just sit there and press 2 buttons. I would press F because I had my fishing rod attached to F, and I would press E because the game treats your A button like it's on turbo, and I have my A button set to E. So I would just hold down E, press F occasionally, and I would just be fishing in Unova outside Dragon Spiral Tower. Do you know how relaxing it is to just sit and fish in a video game? This video game has zombies trying to kill you. This video game has the environment trying to kill you. And fishing is still one of the most relaxing things you can do. One of the best things for your mental health. I'm just saying, always take Angler. So these have the exact same icon, but the list is in alphabetic order, so I know that this is athletic and this is fit. So athletic, right? You can run for longer without tiring. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, it also gives you a +4 to fitness, and you have a negative 60% endurance loss when running or sprinting, which is actually huge. All right, you get a +4 to your fitness. Now, you can gain this trait. So if your fitness is up to level 9, you just gain this one, right? But some people don't want to put in that effort. It takes a long time to get a trait to level 9 if you have a life. But if you drop below fitness level 9, then you're jacked, all right? So I would call it all right. You'll notice my A and my B are technically interchangeable, but I laid out the ground rules for these definitions because I wanted to have a clear spot. Otherwise, it's just amorphous. Anything can go in B, C, or D. I meant to say A, B, or C, whatever. I would put athletic in all right. It's good if you have the points for it. I would say it's fantastic if you have the points for it, but I would not call it situational. I would not call it an always take. I would call it all right. Okay, that puts us at baseball player. This is it. This is, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Why would you ever? There are so many you can no. I'm gonna no. I better never see you take baseball player. I better never, ever see you take baseball player. Okay, I think I've harped on that enough. That is such a bad trait. Goodness gracious. Okay, next up is brave. Okay, you're less prone to becoming panicked, which means a negative 30% panic except for night terrors and phobias. I would say that, you know, it's not great. It's not bad. It's not fantastic. I would not call it an always take. Panic is really prevalent in this game it affects your accuracy, it affects your damage, it affects whether you can sleep or not. So, no, there's nothing wrong with taking Brave, but I would call it a situational, in the sense that I almost never take it, I don't think, but I can see people who would. I can see why people want the Become Brave mod. I can see why people... Actually, that's a really good reason for me to drop it down to filler. Not because it's worse than what I put in situational, but because there's a mod specifically for it, for you to earn it. And so, while I do have Athletic as an earned trait in All Right, having Brave in filler, I justify that by saying a negative 80% to your endurance loss is a much bigger buff than a negative 30% to your panic increase. So while I do think that Brave is a good trait, I don't necessarily think it's a trait that you should pick so much as it is a trait that you should get the mod to dynamically get it. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense because that was all off the cuff, and I'm usually not very good off the cuff. Next up, I think, is Brawler. Again, I'm gonna put this one in F. I'm gonna put this in F because, yeah, you can mix it with Lumberjack, get yourself a nice 125% to the axe bonus, right? But really, I don't think that's very important. I think there's much better things you can do with your points than take Brawler. So, really, I'm not even gonna, well, I'm gonna put it in doo-doo, actually. You see, I didn't mark out the difference between doo-doo and foolish, so I will put it in doo-doo because I think it's a bad trait, especially for the price point. But I think you, as a person, are foolish for taking baseball player. I think the trait itself is doo-doo with Brawler. I'm gonna add doo-doo to my dictionary. For Cat's Eyes, you have a plus 20% brightness at night. It also adds to your forage radius by almost half a point. That is huge. Now, for being a content creator for this game, I need to go into my sandbox settings and add 2 free points because I always take Cat Eyes. However, I know that some people don't need it, don't want it, they think it's a waste, but this is my opinion and my chart. So it stays in S. Cook. Off the bat, 6 points. You know your cooking recipes and you get a +2 to your cooking. What I think this trait has to offer, because if it stays there, I'm putting it in doo-doo. I don't cook. I have never played the game to a point where I gotta cook. That's on me, that's an L for me, okay? But what it does is it adds to your search radius by 0.2 points. You get a 5% to animals, berries, mushrooms, packaged food, medicinal plants, and wild herbs in your foraging table. That is such a huge addition when you take into account Park Ranger already gives you a +2 to your search radius, a 10% to animals, a 20% to berries, a 10% to mushrooms, 75 medicinal plants, 50 wild plants, 50 wild herbs, okay? You add that? Don't judge my spelling, I'm busy. That is with Park Ranger alone, right? All right, that's the Outdoorsman, right? Angler, whatever. I'll save Cook for last, just for fun, okay? Just for wherever I said, like, let's put this in context, let's not. Let's pretend I'm only doing this. This is all a hullabaloo for nothing, okay? I'm realizing how goofy it is. All I'm trying to say is, the 5% don't sound that good. It good. And that's why I'm putting Cook in filler. I don't have hard opinions. Not sure if you're realizing that yet. But I'm actually gonna put Cook in B, in situational, because, it depends on your build. Dextrous, you transfer inventory items quickly. That gives you a minus 50% to your inventory transferring time. I would say, personally, for me, that Dextrous is alright. I like it. I'm actually gonna put Cook in alright too. That's the last time I'm moving it. I'm gonna give myself 2 times to say, hey, I was stupid and wrong and an idiot. But that's my last one for Cook. So, Dextrous and Cook are both going in A. They're pretty good. Eagle-eyed, you have a faster visibility fade and a higher visibility arc. I don't think that really matters. I feel like the only reason I'm ever taking eagle-eyed is for the +1 search radius, and I can get that elsewhere. So I'm going to put this into doo-doo. Not because I think you're foolish for taking it, but I think it's just not that good. Also, I don't think the visibility arcs really matter, so whoopsie doodle. Fast healer, you recover faster from injury and illness. What does that mean? You get a decreased severity of injuries. This does not apply to exercise fatigue. If you crunch your mussies at the gym, you're gonna feel that pain regardless if you take fast healer or not. In some of my builds, fast healer is very, very important. But I am gonna go ahead and call that one situation. No, I'm gonna lay back, get myself nice and comfy. I'm gonna call that one situational. I don't think it's bad, I don't think it's great. It's situational. I don't even need to move over to fast learner. I can tell you right now it's S, I always take it. It's easy clap. But for the sake of having a competent understanding of what fast learner really is, we can go in here in the video game. Look at that. I was right. Increases XP gains. Huge. Ginormous. Amazing. Exquisite. Adjectives. A plus 30% XP gain for all skills, except fitness and strength. What does that mean? Okay, check it. Let's come back into my wilderness test run, right? You can see I've got a 75%. Let's say I gotta take my little inhaler, right? Just to grab fast learner. Oh, I was hoping it would reflect here, but it doesn't. Whoops. Never mind. I was trying to like visualize everything, right? But no, it didn't work like that. Basically, you're gonna learn fast, get yourself learned, educated, and you're gonna gain these skills even faster. And what's more important than not wasting time in this video game, right? Exactly. What is this, fast reader? Am I stupid? There we go, fast reader, my goodness. Now, I have heard about this trait that there's no point in taking it, it's bad, you know, you can just speed up time unless you're in multiplayer. Wrong. You're stupid. You're foolish. Not for taking the trait, for not taking the trait. Unless you're in sandbox settings and you are explicitly making the time it takes to read faster, take fast reader. Yeah, you can find some time in your day to speed up time and to waste so much of your first week, of your first month, of the valuable time and limited time that you have to actually get yourself set up and established. Sure, you can waste that time by fast forwarding and reading. Why? Why would you do that? Don't. Just take fast reader. It's a 30% speed increase. Yeah, you're just shaving off a couple hours, but do you know how huge that is for the time that you could be spending barricading your base, for the time you could be spending setting up your plumbing, for the time you could be spending doing anything else to actually improve your chances of surviving? Yeah, reading is important. Yeah, whatever, but so is time management, and I don't think you people understand that. There's my hot take. That's going in the front of the video. Fast reader is an S. Always take it. Really? You're gonna really argue with a 2-cost trait? Really? I can't wait to get flamed for that. I cannot wait to get flamed for that take. I don't care. I'm right. You can't prove me wrong. Is this their icon for first aider? That's the wrong icon, bud. Okay, easy clap, right? First aid is a good skill to practice. It's a good trait to put the time in and you know, whatever, because your bandages will last longer, I believe. Don't quote me on that, I may be wrong. Let's go find out, actually. I don't trust this website, by the way. And allegedly, as the skill level increases, the player will perform medical interactions faster, make bandages and poultices last longer, make splints more effective and heal fractures faster, and evaluate the severity of wounds and infections. Experiences gained by players treating themselves or other players, yada yada yada. Alright, yes. First aid is important. If I see you take first aider, I'm going to find you, and I'm gonna give you a reason to use it. Sometimes I do take fit, occasionally, if I've got the extra points, which is a big ask. But honestly, all you have to do is train your fitness 1 extra level, which is a much smaller ask than training it up to 9. which I think is 4. I think this is 5. I can't, yeah, you start with 5 fitness. Getting to 6 fitness is not a terribly huge proposition, but getting to 9 is a little bit harder. You can gain fit a little easy. I'm gonna call this one either filler or doo-doo. It's gonna hang right here in between. That brings us to former scout. This one, okay, look, if you're gonna want to jump the shark and get to level 1 first aid quickly, take this, not first aider. This one will give you a +1 to foraging and first aid, almost a 0.1 increase in search radius. You're gonna negate some weather effects, negate darkness effect by a good chunk, get some medicinal plants in you, and 10% trash. Do you know what you can do with 10% trash? Do you know what's on that loot table? Do you have any idea? They don't make it necessarily clear here, right? But in the trash type objects, you can get garbage bags, easy entry to having a little bit of extra carry weight, some weapon repair items, a few types of scrap, and some cooking tools. If you're in the woods, this is what I relied on. If you were in the woods and you wanted to cook with anything, I was hoping for some trash. That's what I'll tell you. All right, so, okay. Not as huge as I was gonna say. I would call it situational. Absolutely situational. Not as good as I was expecting it to be, though. I will say I got my hopes up on that. Gardener. Okay, look, I made a farming video, and to this day, I made that like a year ago, I think. And to this day, I get clowned on for saying insecticide spray. To be fair, some states need it. However, if you're gonna lean into farming, gardener is not a bad spot to be in. It's also really good for adding vegetables, fruits, and crops into your foraging loot table. You're going to see a little bit more of those. You're also going to immediately know how to make the mildew spray and the flies spray. They didn't want to type out insecticide. I'm not afraid to, just saying. But if you do want to immediately, if you know you're gonna want to farm, take gardener. It's pretty good for that. If it didn't teach you the spray recipes, this would be in doo-doo, for sure. But because it gives you the spray recipes, that's where I'm gonna put it in all right. No, yes, no, situational. That's where I'm gonna put it in situational. Graceful is goofy. I wouldn't put it in foolish, I wouldn't put it in doo-doo, it's just goofy. I might give Graceful its own little tier. But anyways, I remember Retnaru made a video where, let's go look it up. Oh my gosh, Pepsi, are you paying me?
However, Graceful is quite important because you can get down to a 1-tile radius very easily right from the start.
I had no idea. I didn't know it was that good, actually.
Zombies around. No, I don't.
Wait a minute. That's an L take for me. That's just an L on my part. That's crazy, actually. I had no idea that Graceful was that good. I thought he made a video clowning on Graceful, but I think it was something else. All right, so basically, I'm stupid and wrong and an idiot. Allegedly, that information changes my perspective on Graceful entirely. Honestly, that's crazy. That's bananas. Wait a minute. Graceful gets its own tier just for taking my expectation and obliterating it. Twice. I gotta give a huge thank you to Indie Stone and to Retnaru for giving me a new favorite trait. I would put this in S for sure, except I don't always take it currently. That is going to change. Oh my goodness, that is going to change. That's so good. That's crazy. That is crazy. But he did mention, as well as taking Graceful, taking Gymnast, which is our next one, and that gives you +1 light-footed, +1 nimble. Those are such good traits, or such good skills, and you're going to level those up regardless. Especially if you take something like Police Officer or Burglar. Burglar's a good one to take. Actually, if you want to really jumpstart your light-footed career, I would go Gymnast, Burglar, and now Graceful. I would absolutely throw Graceful in with that. I think this is a crazy combination now. I think this is a new, core for my next character build. I'm so happy I got that, fixed for me. Thank you, Retnaru. But because of that, it is just +1 light-footed, +1 nimble. What makes it different from something like +1 foraging, +1 first aid? I think light-footed and nimble are more practical. I think light-footed and nimble are used on a day-to-day basis in Zomboid. And with the combination of Graceful, I would put Gymnast in all right. I would argue putting it in always take, just for me, but I think I'm gonna put it in all right for now. Handy? Oh man, handy. It'll give you a faster and stronger construction. It'll give a plus 100 HP to all constructions except walls? What? I didn't see that clarification before. But it will also give you an 11% building speed. It also gives you plus 1 to carpentry and maintenance, which are huge skills that you absolutely need. And I have a video on how to entirely just level up your carpentry as quick as possible. Back on topic. I haven't taken my meds yet. Hang on. You're gonna get the live med take. Oh, come on. All right. For the sole fact of better constructions, and excluding walls kind of rubs me the wrong way, so I'm gonna put handy and situational for sure. Hiker will give you plus 1 foraging and trapping. You're going to know immediately how to make stick traps, snare traps, and wooden cage traps, which are huge. I think the wooden cage trap. I made a trapping video, which I'll put in the description or up here or something. I think the information in that video is still current, despite being like a year old, but don't quote me, I think it's the wooden cage traps that are the best. And for your foraging bonuses down there, those are, anything that gives a foraging bonus is typically pretty good. You do want to look and like kind of make it cohesive if you really want to get minute with the details. I don't know if that sentence made sense, but whatever. I'm hungry, I want chicken nuggies. But again, I think I would put hiker in situational. And do I believe that having the B tier be situational is kind of a safety net? Yeah. So, moving on to hunter. Hunter is something that I would put well above hiker, where hiker gives you a couple trap recipes, foraging, trapping, whatever. Hunter gives you all the trap recipes. You're not gonna use them all, you shouldn't use them all, but it gives you them. You get a plus 1 to aiming, which is so huge. If you can start on just plus 1 aiming, you're gonna be better off. Let me show you what I mean, because apparently people don't trust me. I think I've made enough jokes to be trustworthy. I'm just gonna say it, okay? I've made enough jokes to be trustworthy. There used to be a thing here. All right, there we go. I guess that's it, man. I don't know. I used to have a chart that gave you like a flat bonus, and I guess they did away with that. Regardless, I would put Hunter in all right. I'd put Hunter A tier. It's good. It's just good. Absolutely take it if you want it. If you got it, take it. Now, I think Inconspicuous is the one that Retinaru actually had a video on where he was like, you know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work right. And I don't take it as a result of that. I never checked if it was fixed. This was a year ago. There's a chance it's been fixed. There's a chance that it works as intended now. I don't really have the time to go and test all that. I don't have the time to do half the stuff Retinaru does. That dude is a machine. But I will say from me personally, I don't take Inconspicuous. I wouldn't call it doo-doo, just because I don't know if it works. I will call it filler, because maybe I'll take it, maybe I won't, who knows. I'm running out of time, I've got like 30 minutes left, and it took me 50 minutes just to get this far, so, you know, I may have to speed up some. Iron Gut, less chance to have food illness, 50% chance of food illness lasts shorter. I'm gonna call that situational, because you could just not take it. I mean, the alternative, right, in the negatives is weak stomach, which is one that I take often, and basically just don't eat bad food, don't eat rotten food, you're good. The reason it goes in situational and nowhere lower is because if you take Iron Gut, you can drink tainted water. No one believes me. That's their fault, not mine. Keen hearing is interesting. You read larger perception radius, and you're expecting something like, you know, let's increased XP gains, right? What does that mean? You put that into numbers, and increased XP gains mean plus 30% XP. Not bad, but not, you know, not 100%. Keen hearing is 100% perception radius. Okay, 100%? That's crazy. And then zombies approaching from behind will be visible much earlier. This will save you 9 times out of 10. If you're new at the game, take Keen Hearing. If you're having trouble with a lot of zombies behind you, take Keen Hearing. It's going to save you. I don't take it all the time, but I am going to put it in all right. It's A, it's good, it's good. Okay, that's I'm just gonna stop it there. It's good. Light Eater, you need to eat less regularly. Light Eater is filler. That's just, it's not doo-doo. It's just filler. I think if you're going into a server that's been around for a minute and food is not going to be abundant, take Light Eater, obviously. Otherwise, don't bother. And I have the same feeling for Low Thirst. It's filler. But for the sake of knowing, I guess, it's a negative 50%, which is a lot better than the negative 25%, but you need more water than you need food. You can live off of no food for a minute. You can live off of no water for less than a minute. That's not an accurate number. People are gonna hear that and be like, you kid, it's longer than a minute. Yeah, no, I know, being hyperbolic. I would have lived and died by Lucky. The name, the descriptor that the game gives it is sometimes things just go your way, which gives me nothing. Look, if you want to take Lucky, take it. I've had interactions where Lucky has saved me with loot. I've had interactions where I didn't even notice I took Lucky. I'm gonna put it on situational. Just kind of, it's all right. It's good. It's fine. If you want to take it, take it. Otherwise, don't. I'm actually gonna put it in all right. That's my last edit. For Amateur Mechanic, giving you +1 mechanics as well as a detailed knowledge of common and commercial vehicle models and repairs. It looks like I'd put it in doo-doo, right? It doesn't do much for you. No, I'm gonna put that in situational. If you're gonna be a mechanic folk and you're not gonna take Amateur Mechanic, you're goofy. Now, this is in the context of traits only. If we were to go and look at this occupation, Mechanic, it gives you Amateur Mechanic technically for free. Technically for cheaper, I think, even, because here you take a -4, right? But Amateur Mechanic is -5. So yeah, you literally get it for free. Well, 1 point off, but for free. So in the context of traits only, Amateur Mechanic is B. It's situational. In the context of a build overall, I think Amateur Mechanic would be doo-doo. But in the context of traits only, it's this. Nutrition, foolish. Don't take it. Not even gonna listen. I better never see you take it. It doesn't do anything. I never notice when I have it. Organized. You have an increased container inventory capacity. That's a +30%, including car seats. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Your carry capacity also increases with strength, I believe. Your carry weight. Technically, I'm not wrong. Yes, of course, obviously, take organized. Organized is one that I always take. I'll say it, okay? I would rather have more carry capacity than anything else. I am a hoarder. In real life, too. Not really, come on, guys. It's my... Anyways, I always take organized, and I will always take organized. I told you I gotta hurry up, so I mean, that's where we're at right now. Outdoorsman is a banger. Not affected by harsh weather conditions. What does that mean? A -90% chance of catching a cold, -99% chance of getting scratched, lacerated while moving through trees. My phone just go off? It did. It wasn't even my wife. Doesn't matter. 99% chance of getting scratched or lacerated. -99, by the way. Negative on both. You're not getting a huge percent chance to catch a cold. You're getting almost no percent chance to catch a cold. That is huge. Almost -100% chance of getting scratched or lacerated while moving through trees, and you start campfires with notched planks faster. That is so incredibly huge if you're doing an outdoorsman run. Aside from that, you get this huge foraging buff, which is, you know, it's all tiny numbers, 13%, 5%, tiny number, whatever. These all add up. With every trait you take, with whatever occupation you take. You don't see any of these, really. There's one. Agoraphobic gives you a small search radius. Some of these will give you smaller foraging buffs, right? Whatever. The bonuses you get are ridiculous when you add them up. Outdoorsman is one that I always take because I'm always doing stupid challenge runs. Resilient, I never take it. I'm gonna call it doo-doo. I don't care. I'll read it. I don't, you know, whatever. Less prone to disease. Slower rate of zombification. I have my zombification rate set to instant. If I'm going to turn, I want to turn immediately. I do appreciate the storytelling you have of you got 3 days to prepare for your death. I love that storytelling. But when I'm gaming, when I'm in the zone, I don't care. I don't care. Especially when I'm making content. I don't have time to waste. Like when I was starting to make Zomboid content, I would throw away a video if I died before I finished it. I don't care anymore. I don't do that anymore because I don't have the time to waste. This gives you a negative 25% zombification speed, a negative 55% of catching a cold. If you wanted to pair that with Outdoorsman, you're never gonna get a cold, ever, assuming they stack. But yeah, I'm still gonna call Resilient mid, bad, doo-doo. Speed Demon. Speed Demon can kill you, or it can save you. I will say, Speed Demon is filler. It's kind of C tier. Some people think it's a negative trait, but that's for the iceberg video I'm making later. Runner is +1 sprinting, and you know how I feel about traits that just give you a buff to one stat. I gave a pass to Graceful and to some others that gave you nimble and light-footed, but if I ever see you take Runner, and it's not in a meme build, I'm gonna find you, and you better be really good at running. Stout. If you change the U to an A, you get Stout, and those are my favorite. Extra knockback from melee weapons and increased carry weight can be gained by training strength to level 6. It's one you can gain, and it's much easier to gain than strong. You start at level 5, typically you start at level 5, right? 9 times out of 10. Some, nope, you really, you just start at level 5, 9 times out of 10. So, I don't see much of a reason in taking Stout when you can just train. But, like with Athletic, Strong, you get even more knockback, a 40% to melee damage. It is a lot harder to train to level 9 than it is to train to level 6. And that is why I would put this little buddy, into filler. No, I'm putting it in doo-doo, actually. I'm putting you in doo-doo. I would go as far as to say I'm putting this, no, which one was this again? It fits doo-doo too, but I would put Strong in alright. I can see you justifying taking Strong. I don't see a justification for Stout or Fit at all. Sower, I almost called it tailoring, it's Sower. You just get +1 to tailoring, and you know how I feel about this. I will say, tailoring is annoying. I made a whole video on that. Tailoring is annoying. But I'm still putting you in doo-doo, buddy. You're still going into doo-doo. I'm not gonna call you an idiot for taking it. I'm not gonna call you foolish. I'm calling this the trait foolish. We got two more. It's been an hour and 3 minutes, and I still gotta eat lunch. It's 2:30 a.m. p.m., not a.m. Goodness gracious. Meds ain't kicked in yet. Thick-skinned, less chances of scratches or bites breaking the skin. Negative 30% chance of receiving wounds. 1 in 13 chance of clothes getting damaged by trees. Why is that there? That's kind of stupid. I don't really care for that one at all, really. Now, some could argue thick-skinned ain't nothing. Just don't get hurt. That is stupid advice. That is foolish advice. I would like to posit that avoiding injury in a game meant to hurt you is stupid. I feel like if you look at somebody who is just bad at Souls games, right? I'm bad at Bloodborne. I love the aesthetic of Bloodborne. I love the combat of Bloodborne. I'm bad at it. It does not make me want to play the game if somebody says, "Oh, just get good. Oh, just get better." Shut up. If I am bad at something, but I like doing it, I'm gonna keep doing it because I like doing it. If I'm bad at something and somebody says, "Oh, you should get better first," I'm gonna want to punch you. I'm gonna hope you have thick-skinned because I'm gonna hit you. No, I'm not. That's not very Christian of me. But seriously though, like, shut up. So for that reason, I'm going to put thick-skinned in all right. It's good. It's a good. I don't blame the trait for the people who say just don't get hit. The trait is good, but the advice of like, "Oh, just don't get damaged. Just don't get hurt." That's stupid. That is so stupid. Last one. I've had some scathing takes, I know, but what can I possibly say? What can I possibly say? Where is it? About Wakeful. Needs less sleep. Negative 30% sleep required. I wish I had that in real life. But regardless, no, I usually take Sleepyhead in the negatives, so I don't usually get this one. So that's it. That's my tier list. This is basically the only tier list that matters in Project Zomboid. This is the only tier list you need to think about, you need to worry about. I think I covered every trait pretty completely, pretty complex. I had a real nice refined take all around. If you disagree with me, put it in the comments. If I don't respond to you, it's because I don't have the energy. And if you disagree with me, keep it to yourself, because you probably take Runner and Nutritionist thinking something. A huge thank you to my patrons and my channel members. You guys are sticking with me through the dry patch and this like rough situation where I'm just kind of dealing with real life stuff and I'm freaking depressed. I appreciate that so much. I hope that this was an enjoyable and entertaining video. I really hope I didn't offend anybody. That's not my goal. Unless you take Runner